Dear friends, welcome to our new webinar. And today we're going to talk about very important things such as dividends and the stages of our company's development. So once again, welcome everybody. Please write your questions during the webinars regarding all the issues that we're going to discuss, and at the end of the webinar I'm gonna answer your questions, and I also will announce a special offer prepared by Ava for the DigiU ecosystem. So please stay with us till the end of the webinar. There'll be lots of interesting things. Okay, so it's not a secret for anybody, and I actively tell everybody about it. Last month we visited Dubai, and one of the reasons was to attend a strategic session where we managed to build up 4 stages of active DigiU development. At the beginning of the April, we show you the interview with the founders where we shared how each of these stages will develop. Sergey talked about finances, Piotr about artificial intelligence solutions, Boris talked about blockchain and the soon launching of Ava mainnet, and Alexander, and we showed this video yesterday, talked about strategic development. Myself, I would like for the first time talk about these 4 global stages under the umbrella of the DigiU ecosystem. And today, we're gonna look at them from a global view, all of us together, and detail the questions that might be of interest to you. So, the first stage is, first of all, regarding shares. It's not a secret that securities of DigiU, it's a way for you to enter the system. Someone buys them, someone gets them as a gift, but each owner at some point have a question: what's the value of those security? Somebody simply doesn't understand it. Somebody doesn't know how to get close to it to understand it. So at the first stage of our strategy, we'll pay a special focus to include the value of our securities through increasing the earning power of them. To pursue this strategy, we'll use 2 simple and clear drivers. First is the DigiU Wealth. This product has been pretty stable for the past 2 years in DigiU system, bringing lots of benefits for all the holders of DigiU securities. The dividends will be paid regularly and will continue doing it. So how can dividends be increased through DigiU Wealth? Very simple. You need to increase the number of funds under management. So the goal is to increase the number of funds under management by 100 times. To this purpose, we need a strong professional network. How are we going to develop it, establish it? What are the ways to achieve this? We have a particular strategy, and we're going to talk about it further as part of our further discussions. But what you need to fix, the goal is to increase the amount of capital of DigiU Wealth. And to simplify, we can imagine an idea that we'd like to aspire. We want an investor who invests $1,000 in our system, get annual dividends per year from $500 to $1,000. And these dividends should be paid throughout the entire period when the company exists. So imagine the situation: you invest 1,000 a year and you got good earning power, $500 to $1,000 throughout pretty lengthy period. So this is the goal we'd like to inspire, and the first tangible steps towards achieving this goal, you'll notice very soon during this year when the dividends are going to be paid. What else will help us to achieve this goal this year? Why I'm so confident with the date? First of all, the products, which apart from wealth is in our ecosystem. And we repeatedly said that DigiU is an ecosystem for developing and funding products in the field of artificial intelligence. So the main aim of our ecosystem is to increase the number of products that brings us close to this global goal, developing of a digital personality, and also increase capitalization per share. All of you are aware that mainnet product Ava is getting close to launching, and it's one of the products of DigiU ecosystem at the moment. Ava is at the pretty high stage of readiness, and I think Boris and I in the next few weeks will give a detailed webinars where Boris will share the news and considerations. My job is to show how such e-products that are developed in our ecosystem influence the ecosystem and the benefit that they give to the shareholders. The logic is very simple. The more products, the more solutions you implement, the higher is the capitalization. So throughout the entire system, the more are the dividends paid per share. So I'm pretty proud to say that we've launched the first products, Wealth, DeFi, and in DeFi, we feel pretty professional. We feel we are experts. It's not only our opinion, it's the opinion of the community. And the second product is a potential unicorn that attracts a lot of attention of the big players. And looking forward, we understand that if we manage to implement such products within a pretty short period of time, then it's breathtaking what awaits us in the future. So it's important to understand the prospect that we are looking forward to. And that's what the founders talk in those videos that we presented last week. And the most important is just to make a mental note that the changes in the next few months that you're going to be observing in the DigiU ecosystem, for example, new products, new positioning of DigiU wealth, it all will be directed towards increasing the number of dividends that you will be getting. The first dividend payment will be in June, and I am confident saying that it will be higher than the last time. First of all, because DigiU Wealth is very effective. And second, because the number of shares, and I'd like to draw your attention that by increasing the value of shares and increasing the number of bonuses, we do not wash up this earning power. We do not diminish it, and it's kind of a system. You get dividends, and every time the number of distributed funds is distributed in a lower amount of shares, which increases the earning capacity. Next stage that we see in our ecosystem, and we called it the venture fund. From the beginning of this year, we've been talking about the plans for launching a venture fund which would attract and finance the third-party startups to our ecosystem. Until now, we had enough resources for developing in-house projects, and that's how Ava, Wealth, and other commercially successful project developed. But we clearly understand that there are plenty of products that deserve our attention and that we should bring into our system to make sure that the system is developing faster, capitalization increases. And when we own some pretty ambitious teams and startups. We're getting closer to our goals. And it's important to understand that through our own venture fund, we increase capitalization of the entire system. A few weeks ago, we prepared a detailed interview with Alexander where we described the principles of the venture fund. And we believe that the venture fund will be established as a separate product at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year. It will be available for our partners. But at the moment, we focus on the first stage, increasing the dividends per share and increasing the number of projects, technologies, teams, ideas that we attract and engage in our system through the venture fund will help us to move to the next stage, to look much forward. I'll remind that we identify 4 major stages. In the interviews from Dubai, we touched those stages. Someone believed they are too abstract, someone thought they're overly fantastic, but we get feedback that shows to us that it's inspiring for you. So let me jump to the 4th stage. We call it the virtual world of DigiU or meta universe. You may call it any name. We believe that virtual world, we like it because it makes it clear. It's the trend that are very obvious in today's world. What does it mean? In 2019, when for the first time we started talking about the digital copy of a personality, we sound pretty unclear. We sound very abstract because there were no such trends in the environment. Everyone was talking about artificial intelligence and some of its aspects, blockchain, but nobody looked further and stated the meta universe as a particular virtual world. You can only see it in some science fiction books or films. So we were the first who were very precise about it. Now, such technological giants as Facebook and some others, they declare meta universes where people can live through, exchange information, spend time, work. So it's a really fully fledged environment for developing digital personality, digital avatar. So I'm 99% certain that this will be implemented everywhere in the next few years because it's in the virtual world where we get security, we are able to satisfy the basic needs like getting pleasure, attention, funds for existence, and implementing important ideas. And virtual worlds enable us to do all this. So it's a global trend. Everything is going towards it. It's in this direction that we've been working since 2019. So naturally, the economy will be developing in virtual world. Someone will offer services to other customers. Somebody will offer goods. All this leads us to developing a particular economic order. So talking about the value of the DigiU shares at this stage, we're coming to the point that the shares that you buy now, when we reach the 4th stage, building up virtual world of DigiU, so this become a actual digital money of DigiU. So you see, you've got all this set of knowledge from me. So at the moment, DigiU securities bring you real income, which is growing up. And when the 4th stage will be implemented in the next few years, it will become an important asset, which will be money in the DigiU meta universe. So these are the trends that we are working on in order to shape our own universe, our own meta universe, our own virtual world. We mentioned in the interviews from Dubai that our plans are even have even larger scale. It's kind of creating a certain crossroads of worlds because we understand that can be many meta universes and the AVA system enable exchanging information between those worlds. And it's obvious that in Node, to implement any technologically intensive product, which is the DigiU meta universe, our own technological cluster is absolutely necessary. So last year, we built up a failure-proof cluster, which enabled us to fulfill all our needs. Very powerful, protected structure, everything which is necessary for work of the blockchain and artificial intelligence laboratories and for all our partner network. But for such large-scale tasks as building up meta-universe, such technological cluster or a metapolis, if you want, a technopolis, should be much, much bigger. So the next stage also will be stage number 3 also will be building a technological cluster, enabling us to fulfill the concept of a DigiU technological world. And the venture fund, which by that stage will be fully operational, will help us building up technological cluster. The fund will have the full portfolio of necessary products, and all other our solutions also will be at a very high level of efficiency. The second stage, the venture fund, implies a lot of contacts with the audience, a lot of exhibitions and conferences that we're going to organize and attend, where we will select technological startups and solutions. So now we receive applications, we look through them, we select, we have calls, Skype calls, and we go through screening of the projects. But of course, visiting exhibitions for those projects also will enhance the quality of work. And of course, the DigiU community, which is present in many countries. There are lots of events, and I believe that interested leaders, partners, investors, of course, we will invite them to such events with us. We will help them go deeper into such processes in our company, because the closer we are to you, not only during the webinars, but also live meetings in Dubai, for example, Sochi. You know, when you talk live, face to face to another person, of course, it's a much better process of information, energy exchange between persons. So I believe that's the first webinars when we talk in such a way about the 4 stages of DigiU system development. I do hope that you can get a good grasp of what I've just tried to explain. And now I'm gonna try to answer questions, and then we'll move on, because there is a very special offer from Ava for the DigiU ecosystem. And overall, when I answer your questions, it always helps us to go deeper and deeper in all the issues that are of interest to you. And of course, I want these all these questions, all the issues to be related, first of all, with what I've just told you. Let me get first to the Russian chat on YouTube, and then we'll move to other chats. Let me remind you that there is simultaneous translation of our chats into different languages: French, Spanish, Italian, English, and of course in Russian. So if you have partners friends, if you have audience in such countries, always invite them to our broadcasts, because there is always a possibility to ask questions and get information of interest to you directly from me. So in Russian chat, hello, are there going to be a possibility of striking the Ava tokens? Of course. In a nutshell, yes, there'll be a possibility. If you go to Ava Networks, you can get more detailed information. But in a global scale, so to be more precise, if you look at it through the DigiU system, so that it'll be clear for the person who asked it, DigiU owns 5% of Ava sale. It's 50 million tokens. So now there are several options how we gonna dispose of those tokens, and it's all is related to profit making, and as a consequence with the increased dividends, which going to be twice this year. So there are several options. First, some tokens can be simply distributed between all shareholders so that you can just dispose of it on your own. You just can possess in your hand a piece of Ava product. It's not always seems to be the most advantageous for the entire ecosystem, because not everybody use cryptocurrency. And it does sound modern, but very few persons possess wallets and understand what does mean cryptocurrency. We just started going into this. So this method, distributing tokens, is not always the most efficient. It's not always the method when we take care about our investors and users the best way. Anyway, we're gonna make sure and streaming that we're gonna get profit from that, and then having this revenue, we can make sure that the earning capacity will be increasing. Anyway, all these options we're gonna publish, and then together through different ways we will select the best offer to satisfy the needs of all our investors. There was information earlier, the question, on working on a product based on artificial intelligence associated with currency exchange trading. Well, I believe these are products related to predictive analytics, predictive algorithm, prediction of asset volatility at an exchange. So we talked about this product. We are still working on this. It's under development, but the key point to understand, we can give only such product to our users that meet particular criteria of risk. So at the moment, when we know to predict the future in algorithmic trade, it does mean that you can earn efficiently and earn with a particular level of risk which you allow for your audience. At the moment, yes, we can predict pretty well. We have this technology, and its technology is interesting to those with who we communicate and who we represented in negotiations in Dubai showed it. But it's a different thing to present it as an end product, which we can give to a user and say it's safe for you, you can earn a lot. We are working on the product. As soon as it is in the right shape that we can give it to you, we'll do it. When this technology will generate commercial profit, maybe we can put it on lease, maybe we'll sell it. Different options are considered, but it's important to understand that presenting the product is not always the only possible way of implementing it, of realizing it. So we need to understand it. There is a question from a Spanish chat. How often and what's the interest of the dividends paid? Talking about the shares of securities in DigiU, we pay dividends on securities twice a year. I can't exactly say what's the interest because people buy them under different conditions. Somebody get pretty big packages, bonuses, so it can differ between people. But we pay dividends twice a year. The next payment will be from the 1st to 10th of June in this period, in 6 weeks practically. Talking about DigiU Wealth, its users have monthly earning capacity and they've got monthly revenue in this value of the product they've got it. And in the DigiU Wealth sections, you can check the earning capacity that the products has since the time it was launched, since October 2020. Next question. Hi, Alexey. Hi, DigiU team. Many ask me when shares can be sold and how they'll be sold. Okay, look here. When they start talking about selling securities, then very often it is reduced either to public placement, IPO, or some other methods of public placement. And we always say the following. In our concept, chapter 13, we describe the ways to commercialize in the DigiU system. We consider IPO as one of the ways to commercialize. What I was describing today is to underline that our current task is to increase by many folds the earning capacity of the securities. So here the question would be whether you would really like to sell them. That's first point. The second point, we talked repeatedly about the possibility to buy them out, and this procedure we believe will be in place because it might be of interest for the companies to buy out securities and pay less dividends, but it's not going to happen earlier than next year. Third, when such questions are asked, there is always some kind of a cash out possibility when investor can plan regardless of the amount of one's investment, because you always want to increase the earning capacity and be able to dispose of it. Venture investment, which is our shares, they imply pretty long-term investments. When we invest in the DigiU ecosystem, it means venture investment, which has certain risk degree. And of course, we try to reduce this risk to the minimum. And our strategy for paying dividends, increase the dividends by many times, will enable you and all DigiU investors to fully repay one's investments in 1 or 2 years. Therefore, if you are interested in IPO, please refer to chapter 13 of the concept. If you are interested in cash out, once again, listen to this webinar. A comment? I agree with Alexey. Well, thank you. Are there any more big questions? Questions that are useful for today's webinars? Well, I don't see them, but I see plenty of support in our chats from different countries. And it's also great. I see many different countries. It's important because whenever we develop ecosystems, when we hear ideas from our partners as to what would be a better way to develop our system, we always thrive when we look at any offers, any proposals, we always believe, will there be a demand for your proposals there and there? How can we make sure that people in Asia, Africa, Latin America will have the same pleasure and enjoyment from proposals put by you? So that's why we always appreciate when our partners suggest different ways of developing our ecosystem. It's very inspiring because practically from the first year of our company's history, we've been an international company from 182 countries, from over 400,000 registered partners, plenty of investors. It's a huge community, and it's our job to make these communities, through yours in our efforts, your trust and support in our professional skills. It's our job to fulfill the ideas and the mission of our company. And now, moving to the special offer that Eva highlighted for the DigiU ecosystem, it's important to emphasize it is inclusive, very exclusive offer for the community. When you can use Eva nodes under the exclusive conditions, and we always endeavor to make sure that DigiU partners who support us, our projects, enjoy exclusive conditions. And if you follow Ava, then you do know that alpha testing is now over, and we are moving to tokens, Ava tokens, in order to develop the node network, centralized network, and the project would achieve the high level of decentralization. At the moment, Ava is implemented 300 nodes, and I looked through the information. More than 500 applications were already filed to acquire nodes. And the Ava community, that's right, will be allocated through a raffle, through a lottery, because we have more applications than nodes. For the DigiU community, anyone who is an investor can file an application to acquire a node. And right now there'll be a special post with detailed condition. How can you do it? But I'd like to emphasize that nodes and the participation is not for anybody. One needs to possess certain technical competencies, be able to support performance. So there is a certain list of conditions that a person should have in order to work with nodes and be able to support it throughout a certain period. However, possibility to acquire 100,000 tokens, Ava tokens, at 0.12 cents is the wonderful condition. But again, all the details, please look at the post, read it carefully. All the details are there, but in a nutshell, right now you can file an application to acquire, to buy nodes. On Monday, we'll process all the applications. If you meet the requirements, then on Monday, you'll get a confirmation in the Telegram bot, which confirms all your right, and you'll get a detailed instruction. My congratulations, because it's been a long shaped project on this special offer. It's an infrastructure project, and as Boris, investors, anybody who face us at exhibitions, etc., they say that 99% that's gonna be a industry standard, because one of the advantages of Ava in terms of information dissemination is the highest information decentralization on the market, which today is one of the main parameters. So please appreciate this possibility, and please appreciate that DigiU always gives the best conditions to our partners. So this is all the information that I wanted to share with you. I think that this month we're gonna organize another webinars and go even deeper into those stages so that every member of our community has a clear understanding of our strategy and we all together can work towards achieving the goal.